Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Cosmic Theater. I'm your host, Dr. Franklin Ruehl, and now, a critique of Mark Saber of the Homicide Squad, starring Tom Conway on Mystery Theater. Roll tape. Time now for Cosmic Theater. In today's entry, the 1950s TV crime series, Inspector Mark Saber of the Homicide Squad, starring Tom Conway as Mark Saber and James Burke as Sergeant Tim Maloney. Now, in this series, which ran from 51 to 54 in the United States, Conway was a debonair sleuth who was rather well-to-do. He lived in a penthouse and had a butler, sort of the forerunner of Amos Burke, the character portrayed by Gene Barry on Burke's Law. In this case, a boxer has been killed in his dressing room before the bout, and Mark Saber only has minutes to uncover the murderer. Let's see if he can do it. Roll tape.
Mystery Theater, starring Tom Conway as Inspector Mark Saber of the Homicide Squad in the case of the Snowman murder. The Adam tagged Vita Patron in 38 seconds of the fourth round. So what? Sit down, everybody. Adam, you take the rub-down table. Me? Oh, no, the other table's Jenks. That's where Tom was. Say, have a seat on the rub-down table. Are you right where Tom was standing? Sure. You want the killer, Saber? That's the guy, Adam Atlas. Take it easy, Adam. Remember what Inspector Saber said about a fighter's fist? Nobody calls me a murderer. Easy. I'm accused. He can't convict you of murder by talking. Can you back up that accusation, Cordell? Sure I can. They killed my boy, the Adam and Tyson. Tyson turned him against me and Tom. Told him we were pushing him aside to make it easy for Tom to get a crack at the title. Tyson talked the Adam into signing a contract with him. And I'm a lot better off, too. Tonight, Tom told the Adam what he thought of his dirty double-crossing. The Adam lost his temper. He jabbed those scissors into Tom's back. Dirty Shut up. Makes sense to me, Inspector. Do we book him? Artie Williams could be as guilty as anyone. The scissors were his, and he's wearing a black eye handed him by Tom. He's not the type to take a punch without fighting back. Now, don't try to pin this on me, Bob. That's a very interesting fact, Cordell. What is? I was under the impression you still managed to have him. As a matter of fact, you gave me that impression. Oh, tonight was my last night. His contract with Tyson goes into effect tomorrow. You dirty... That's enough. The Adam didn't kill Tom Terry. He couldn't have. Oh, I'm glad somebody's making sense around here. Why couldn't he have? And if it wasn't him, it must have been Bull Tyson. He's in with that Spring Street gambling crowd. There's a time factor involved. A very important time factor. Important enough to point out the murderer for us. When I came in here, this glass snowman was in Tom's left hand. The snow was just finishing settling down. Late, I timed it. It takes exactly 1 minute and 55 seconds for the motion inside the glass to stop. So the crime must have been committed approximately 1 minute and 45 seconds before I came in here. The snow stopped a few seconds afterwards. Williams is in the clear. We saw him into the dressing room carrying the liniment and stuff. He couldn't go to the supply room and back. He couldn't have time. He's in the clear. Exactly. And the same time element rules out the atom. We arrived in this dressing room at 9:32. The snow was just finishing drifting down. So it was activated approximately 1 minute and 45 seconds before at 9:30. The atom was in the ring fighting from 9:25 on. That leaves just a few of us, doesn't it? Yes. Everyone's been trying to convince me that the atom was the last one to see Tom alive, except Miss Pritchard. What are you insinuating, Saber? Miss Pritchard didn't tell me that because she knew better. She was the last one to see him alive.
But I didn't kill him. I loved him.
Why don't you leave her alone? All right. She was in here. You making a confession? Don't be an idiot. After I left the first time, I started for ringside. The Adam entered the ring. Miss Pritchard came to me and said Tom Terry wanted to see me. So we came back to see him. Why didn't you tell me this before? With my reputation? The sergeant had me ticketed for the crime before there was even a body. I just couldn't take any chances. So I asked Miss Pritchard to keep quiet.
I didn't mean any harm.
You had an argument with Tom about Miss Pritchard. Sure, I was always arguing with Tom about her. She was no good for him. But you wanted her. I loved her. She was no good for me either, but she couldn't hurt me like she could him. She interfered with his career. Anyway, I argued with him long before that gimmick you planted. Why did you come to see Tom?
I'd rather not say. It was a private matter.
Well, somebody better say. Did you two leave the room together?
Yes.
Why did you come to see Tom? To kill him?
No. Tom wanted to sign with Tyson. He said he was sick of Cardell.
That's a lie. You called us down here presumably to protect Tom from gamblers. You knew Tyson wanted to sign him, and you were hoping that we'd scare him away. Queer the deal because of Tyson's police record. Then you made out those contracts and brought them to him. Are you believing them or me? I believe facts. Are you accusing me? Would I call you if I was going to kill Tom? You called us before you decided to kill him. But you were still hot over that quarrel about Miss Pritchard. She never brought me anything but bad luck. Tyson had gotten the atom away from you. Now he wanted to sign Tom. You asked Tom to sign this contract with you, and he refused. He told you he was signing with Tyson. You left the room and were waiting for us outside in the hall. The atom came in and left, then Tyson and the girl. After they left, you came in here and stabbed him as he stood beside this table. He just picked up the snowman. He staggered to the rub-down table and fell across it.
You killed him.
And then came out to meet us. Unfortunately for you, his hand in a sort of spasm froze around the snowman in a death grip.
Oh!
Okay.
Boom! Okay, these episodes were well written, well acted, and interesting. So on the Ruehl TV scale, where A is best, F is worst, Inspector Mark Saber of the Homicide Squad garners a B. Now, I have to tell you, as far as I know, this hasn't been shown on TV in over 30 years. So the only place you can catch Mark Saber is right here on Mystery from Beyond the Other Dominion. This had an interesting history. After it was canceled in 1954 on American television, it was renewed in England and ran from 1955 to 1960, but with a new actor assuming the role of Mark Saber, namely Donald Gray, a one-armed actor. I might also point out Tom Conway, who I thought was very debonair, very handsome, was the brother of the better-known actor George Saunders. Both of them were actually born in St. Petersburg, Russia, because their father was a diplomat. Now, until next time, may the power of the cosmos and of Mystery Theater be with you. Yes, yes, yes.